Well, hello everyone. This is Scott again. I just want to give you a little tip. My wife and I took a trip down. Part of our retirement, we can go anywhere. We tried to go anywhere, just about anywhere. I'm not sure. Anyways, we took a trip down our old stomping grounds down south. Visit a restaurant called the Mai Kai. I'll go over that in another video. But there's one thing that almost caught us that I just want to give you all a tip on. I think it's getting bigger and bigger. This is my own personal view. Tips seem to be going out of hand. They really are. The sad thing is, when the minimum wage goes up, we'll say $5, $6, $7, $12, whatever it is, one thing they screw waiters and waitresses and all that out of is their base, which should go up as well. And their base for getting tips still is like $2.13. Here it is, 2026. And even though, the minimum wage for an employee goes up, I don't know who makes the rules on where does the base start for a waiter or waitress, but it's still $2 and something cents. I mean, it's really ridiculous. So what's happening is, in order for these waiters and waitresses to conform to everyday living, it has to go up. That's why you see tips going up from 10 to 15 to 18%. We'll probably start seeing people pushing at 20%. But that's part of the reason, because the cost of living going up, and these old 10%, 15% are not really paying the bills so much. Now, it does depend on where you're waiter and waitressing or getting tips. It does depend what you do. There's a lot of complaints out there about people saying, if I go up to a register and order food, we'll say go to Starbucks and order a coffee, they got a tip jar. That's BS. I'm sorry. You don't need to tip if you're going up there. Place in your own order, not a waitress placing it, and then they make something, and then you go up there and pick it up. You should get no tip for that. I mean, they're not doing anything, because they're not getting what you call a waiter waitress minimum wage. They're getting paid a higher salary or an hourly than a normal waiter or waitress is. So it's getting to really be a fuzzy line, which is really BS right now. And this new generation, they feel like you owe them a tip. Oh, I brought you some water, but you don't see me for 2 hours, so I better get a 20% tip. If not, I'm going to give you a bad look. I mean, these generations really suck doing that. I'm telling you right now. But with all that, I'm getting off my high horse right now. I need to give you a tip on something to, especially retired people who maybe like to drink, go out and have some cocktails and stuff like that, and you may not have all your faculties there. What these restaurants are doing now is they are adding tip to your check, to your bill, without telling you, and they're expecting you to look at the receipt to see if it's added or not. And there's more step over that. But right here you can see I got the Mai Kai over here. Let's see my mouse. You can see my mouse right here. You see this is our meal right here. And then all of a sudden you see suggested tip 18%. Why they say suggested tip and they charge you? That's a tip. Forget the word suggested. And then if you go down here, here's your suggested tips, da-da-da-da-da. And then, which is almost ridiculous sometimes, except for the smaller amount. And then at the very bottom, suggested 18% gratuity is included. For my thing is, they stick it on there. Do you have a right to say, look, I see 18% on here, can you take it off and make it 15%? I mean, do we have a right to do that? I don't know. These are the fuzzy areas of today's BS tipping. And then here's what's weird: is they bring you a credit card machine, and on that credit card machine has tips that you would say 15%, 18, 20%, or no tip. Now, what happens if you're not looking at your receipt and you don't see that gratuity's already there, that tip's there, you're going to go 15% or 18%, and they got double the tip. that's where they're getting you. Now, it's not just my Kai here. This is, I've run into several restaurants, especially down south. It's probably all over right now, the United States, adding gratuity. And this way, what's happening is, I guess there's some scam people out there says, I went out to eat for $200. Here's your $2 tip, which I think is also wrong. And so they're trying to avoid that. But the two etiquettes I don't know is, can you make it less than 18% and tell them to switch it? And two, you got to look at every single food receipt. I don't care if you're going to Starbucks or Burger King. Look at these receipts, okay? And if you see a gratuity there, on the machine should say no tip. And you got to catch yourself doing that. If you don't, you are paying double. Because right here, what is this gratuity? 50. So you're giving them a $30 tip if I did not catch, or a $31 tip if I did not catch it was on my receipt. So I'm just telling you, as a retired person, all you retirees are people getting older, maybe in your 30s and 40s, and you just feel like you're the king's world or queen's world, and you're just going to sign something and do your debit card and whatnot. You need to look at receipt. If you do, it's going to save you a hell of a lot of money. So that's my tip for today, being retirement and going out to restaurants. I hope you take this all in, and you have a wonderful day.